Hello everybody, my name is Welty, and welcome to Metal Gear Solid 3. This is on the PS5, it's in the Metal Gear Master Collection.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Which lasted for 40 years, unless I got it mistaken for something else. This is gonna be a doozy, because some of these cutscenes are long as hell. Like, I'm not even joking. I would record this in hour-long intervals, but I got told in the comments that people don't like that. But some of these cutscenes are long.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
I like how the mask says Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius.
I can't show it to you, but if you looked really closely, you can see it. Yeah, right there, U.S. Army Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater.
Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first Halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
That's something I couldn't do. Now, I would be terrified that the damn parachute just would fail. Or even if the parachute didn't fail, what if I landed on power lines or something? Nah,
Jack, I've got some
can't do it.
important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission.
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokoloff. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokoloff. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokoloff is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokoloff left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why'd he want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokoloff over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokoloff over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. Once more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests in Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No. According to our intelligence, he's in Selinoyarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's It's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokoloff must have known that too when he contacted us.
It's been 10 minutes so far and I've got to play nothing. I'm really considering doing the 30-minute or hour-long videos for this one. Well, there's definitely segments that I can do 30-minute videos. Some of these cutscenes are just long. Like on average, I can usually beat this game in about 4 hours, but with cutscenes, Jesus. I don't even know how long.
Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokoloff, and bring him back to the west.
It's cool.
If we don't get Sokoloff back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokoloff, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong, you'll be eating dinner, breakfast, and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Although it's not the first Metal Gear game, this is technically the first Metal Gear game in the timeline. The order is Metal Gear 3, Metal Gear Peace Walker, then Metal Gear Ground Zero, Metal Gear 5, then the original 2 MGS games, the 2D ones, then Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, and Metal Gear Solid 4. And the Acid games and all that, but I haven't played those, so I don't know where they fit in the timeline. And I guess Metal Gear Raiden takes place after 4. I need to play that one.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory.
This just goes on for a long time, and there's no real point to it. He's basically telling me that I'm getting a code name, and I'm gonna call him Tom. I thought it was triangle, but I pressed it and it didn't work. That's not what I was doing. I played this when the Master Collection came out, but I have played it before. And we're back. I had to stop for a second. I'm honestly surprised I didn't get interrupted during the cutscene. This is introductions. It is important, but at that point, I won't have hardly any gameplay for 30 minutes. I guess I won't skip any of the other ones, but you know, like this is taking a while. With me spamming X, it's still taking me a while.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Okay, circle is attack, squares push, that's crouch, triangles interact. That changes the camera. First person. Okay. And roly-poly. Nice. I'm gonna play with the camera like to where I can move. How do I reload? I don't know. I don't think you get to keep the meat from those. I could entirely be wrong on that, though. So I'm gonna do Metal Gear 3, and I'm still gonna do Stalker. I'm gonna start playing that again right after this video.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokoloff.
AK-47s and grenades.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The Uniform option lets you pick your uniform.
Yeah, no, that's a tutorial. I don't need a tutorial. We got green already. Let's see, what camouflage do we have? About the best I can do right now. It just makes you a little harder to see. It's not much, but it's a little bit. This game adds a lot of elements that later Metal Gear games will use, like the suppressor that breaks. I'm almost positive that that's not how it is in the first game. And other mechanics. The eating and health system that they had, they took that off. It apparently was really divisive and people just didn't like it very much.
Who's that?
Fuck you. The fuck is with my... Huh. I don't. Oh, I fucked that up badly. Thank you for showing me the way. Yeah, I didn't mean to alert everybody. I don't know why I'm looking up so high.
What's wrong? Huh? He's over there? I see him.
The fuck do you... Do you mind? No, I don't have time right now. I'm gonna die. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I let go there. That was just way too... way too much.
I hear something.
Goddamn time, I wasn't sure if I was gonna hit him. There's at least one more. I'm excited for Metal Gear Delta. I'm hoping Konami doesn't fuck it up. Because if anybody could fuck it up, it would be Konami. And I'm not saying that as a jag to Konami. But let's be real, it's not a Hideo Kojima game. It's a remake of a Hideo Kojima game, and I'm hoping it'll be amazing. But it's not a Hideo Kojima game. This was one thing I really like about this game. I mean, it is something you do in some of the other ones too, but you have to find your weapons. Oh, I can use the D-pad to move, that's nice. Backpack. Now if I want to go loud, I have a weapon, but I don't have a suppressor. And you can take on and take off the suppressor.
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokoloff is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokoloff from here. The security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Your objective, Sokoloff, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokoloff back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokoloff while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, And one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokoloff, I want you to tell him something from me. Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
Alright, I want to mess with something real quickly. Now for me, I can't hardly hear Snake when he's talking. So I need to... Yeah, audio right here. Okay, apparently everything's at max. Whatever. I mean, I hope y'all can hear. I'm having a bit of a hard time. I mean, I can hear, but it's not as loud as I feel like it should be. I really wish the camo thing was something they brought back. You can pretty much play the entirety of Metal Gear 5 with just the stealth suit. Unless you're doing combat phases. Oh, yeah, he might be able to see us. What the hell did I get up there? I didn't press anything to get up. Debating. Why did you do that? Why? Okay, guess I didn't need to put him to sleep. God. The fact that you can't crouch walk is just insane. I get that this was like the earliest. Well, it's not the earliest, but you know what I mean. It's just the fact you can't crouch walk is insane. Get that munchy crunchy. I don't think I can do anything yet, but it's nice to have. Now, can I enter through here? Of course not. That would be... I mean, that would make sense. I was hoping I could enter through there. Okay. Can't hold any more of that. Who saw that? Or was it just you? Because I can't hit anybody else. I can't even hit you, to be fair. You're just out of my line of sight. The fuck? Who saw me? Yeah, that's gonna work well.
Right there?
Nobody knows where I went.
HQ.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. We've lost sight of alert formation.
Acknowledged. The enemy is still nearby. Pursue and engage him. This is HQ.
Bitch, you don't know where I'm at. I was trying to hold him up. It didn't work. Oh, I have the sensor on.
HQ.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. We've lost sight of the enemy. Commence alert formation.
We're gonna be here for a little bit.
Pursue and engage him.
I think I have to be completely unalerted before I can actually do anything here. Why did I do that? I guess it's good to know that we can knock, though. So, I mean, at least there's that. Yep, at least 50 more seconds before we can do this. Oh. Oh, I guess we could have just been in caution and did it. Well, I now know that for future reference.
You must be Sokoloff.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
He's Zero?
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of Gru. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the Gru. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power. The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
Yeah, I'm totally reliable.
Your Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America is truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts.
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
Major, this is Snake. Sokoloff is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokoloff to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I had to kill them. There was no other way. But no one will know we were involved.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokoloff out of there.
Yeah. A weak signal. The fuck's he gonna do? A Kamehameha? Like he had his hands out like he was gonna do one of those.
Freeze!
So this is the legendary boss. Huh? We meet at last.
Oh, I missed it. I didn't see the
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz.
R1 thing.
What's a crew soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
Ha! That's Major Ocelot to you. And don't you forget it.
Sokoloff is ours. Get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
Damn. That's one hell of a shot. I mean, he was counting on the ricochet. That shit's cool as hell.
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the Gru.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
Not yet. Look, you just can't defend some of Hideo Kojima's shenanigans. That's what makes this game so fun. They're batshit crazy, and they know they are.
What is that stance? Huh. That gun. If you're not the boss, then die.
Major! Leave it! Shoot
Oh, that shit's funny. Just the scream. The fucking scream on that. You can actually see this moment repeated by Ocelot in MGS5. It's a random encounter you can get when you go to the mother base.
You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do, but testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
Ocelot.
Was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he will repeat this to a mother base soldier in MGS5, and it's glorious to see. Especially if you know where it's from.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you alright?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokoloff too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokoloff. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokoloff was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
Alright. But first I want to show y'all something pretty cool.
Saving the game.
And then I'll call it this video. But I do want to show it to y'all because it is pretty damn cool. Yeah, it's been a year since I played.
Hey Snake, you ever heard of
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. But this is cool. Now, here Ocelot is completely and utterly unguarded. He's a main player in the series. Very important.
You've created a time paradox. You're Snake. You can't go changing the future like that.
I just like that. Anyways, if y'all liked the video, please give it a like. If you don't like the video, don't like the video. And as always, have a wonderful day. Bye!